Alrighty. Like I said, masteries. I've messed up a few. I'm on 147, and honestly, it should be a lot more. Kind of a conversion problem between getting the first class in a tank and getting an ace. And it started me thinking about it, so I was playing a few games, and I'm going to show two of them. First one's in the Pershing, a tank, by the way, I appreciate very much. I think I actually prefer it to the Super Pershing, and like generally it's a vanilla American tank, but I seem to go pretty well in it, and I've been playing a lot of games in it, chasing the ace, as they say. The second game I'm going to show you is in the Tshep0071, because sometimes you get what you deserve, and sometimes you don't in Blitz. So the first game in the Pershing is a new Supremacy game. If you looked at the tanks at the start of the game, I'm, bottom tier. Not by much, but nevertheless bottom tier. And I'm in a world that is tier 8 for me, which is driving a medium tank, but everyone else pretty much, other than the poor old T49 there, is either in a TD or a big heavy tank. Making money in something like a Pershing at this tier is hard work, but for all of that, that's why it's fun. That's why I do it. That's why I'm driving the Pershing today. So as you can see, I've farmed a load of damage already. I got a shot in the side from that prop, which has no right to bounce, and I feel sorry for that lad there. He had his head on a spin. He made a really good shot, but it didn't go in. And sometimes that's just plain luck. And you can see that this guy here is, with all respect to him, not a particularly good player. So, I've done most of my farming off of one tank, and sometimes when you're hunting an ace, you need someone just to oblige you by kind of sitting in front of you so you can farm all their damage. It sounds awful, but that's the truth. You also kind of need a team that's noobish, but not going to fold in the first 2 minutes. They need to be just good enough not to be bad, but just bad enough not to be good. So you need an obliging red team and a green team that doesn't totally fold and enables you to shine a bit. And that's kind of, by the chances of fate and RNG, what I've ended up with here. But for all of that, I've got an IS-6 down there, which is a pain in the butt, and then an E75 to get through, and this is taking me some time. And meanwhile, the red guys have capped up 2 caps, and look, in all fairness to me, it's just going to take me a while to get through this IS-6. And I'm beginning to look at cap points, and I'm thinking, I've got to move. I don't want to, but this is new Supremacy, and bad things are going to happen if I don't move. So I'm going to have to go take one off the IS-6. I don't want to, but there you go. And then I'm not going to let him do what he wants with me. I'm going to go on the side of him and cap him in the turret. So that's the IS-6 cleared. We're up to 2.4k, and I know this is a high damage game, so I'm already thinking, the ace might be on. Get a good bounce off the E75, pull back just in time. You notice where I position myself against that wall. That isn't luck, that is actually judgment, in all fairness to me. I cap him as I go past, and then I'm going to put APCR in his butt just to be sure, because that's a bouncy tank. So there he goes. And this is where it all becomes a bit unstuck, because we're one tank up, but we're 3 caps down, and this is new Supremacy. If you look at where I am, I've already committed to going down, and that Lurver's doing the right thing. He's staying alive. Now I reckon that I could cross in the direction of D, but he'll shoot me in the side, and I want to look at B, but he's got that covered as well. Fair play to him. Shoots me as I come around the corner. Is covering up B. I can't get on B. I don't have the hit points to manage that. The T-49 does the right thing probably. I could have done with his help, but he's gone and taken a cap, but it's going to be too little too late, and I'm really going to now have to push this lure because it's going to have to be a knockout or nothing. And he moves forward, and again he's not going to oblige me by coming out sideways or doing anything stupid. I bounce him. Game over. That's new primacy for you. And for all of that, I really did my best to screw that up, but do you know what? I got an ace. So I'm quite happy with that. That's 3.4k. It always hurts to lose a game, especially like that, but in all fairness, there it goes. Then we have the Tshep0071. Now this is a tank that I have, I think, a 67% win rate, something like that in it. I love the tank. Bought it way back in the day. Didn't get it. Played bad in it. You know, I think after 20 games I was on 43%. And then something kind of clicked, and this was kind of way before the event when it was still a rare tank. And I realised that it had a rock hard turret. It was fairly mobile and has obscene DPM with superb gun depression. So I was just like, right. And once I figured that out, I know I'm a bit slow, I was kind of like, okay, right, yeah, okay, we know what to do. So I'm playing this game with Sai. And my point is, before I start rambling, I've played 200 odd games in this. I have never aced it. And it's got a lot harder now because there's more of them in the game post-event. So every time I play this tank, it's always in the back of my head. This could be the day that I ace the Tshep0071. I've had some big damage games. Like I said, I win a lot of games in it. Just don't seem to get the right circumstance to ace it. So Sai and I have pushed around here, and we're going to give this little scavenger a good hiding, because there you go. And then lo and behold, somewhat unexpectedly, we get a KV2 popping around the corner. Now, I would have thought he would have played mid, usually, or gone A-cap or whatever, but no, he's pushed round with his lights and mediums, and fair play to him. Yeah, well done KV2. So things ain't looking good. Sai's been quite surprised by that turn of events and has died. I've got a Sherman's Firefly, which is a pain in the butt because it's got really good pen, and he's going straight through my turret. He can also aim, which is not good. I'm getting pushed by the KV2. I've got some help from WZ, but I think he's an unwise boy coming up here. And then we get an SG-100Y, and I'm like, why? Oh my god, all their TDs are here, Sherman Firefly's here. Life is bad, and it's about to get worse because the poor old WZ is going to get deleted by the SU-100Y. So I'm backpedaling like hell, but there's also red tanks behind me, so I don't want to get shot in the butt. So I've got a choice of being shot in the butt or dealing with 3 tanks. So I'm going to go with dealing with 3 tanks. Why not? Those are the brakes. So I'm pumping damage into this Firefly, and I've got much better DPM. So I clear him out. So I'm up to 2.1k, and life's kind of okay. The KV2's gone off to the right to focus my guys in the middle, who have been no chuffing help whatsoever. But there you go. And I'm going to pump the KV2 from the side, and my damage is starting to look a bit tidy. We're up to about 2.5k. Get rear-ended by a K, like, oh. Anyway, you know, thanks dude, but yeah. It's not his fault. It's not his fault. He's a confused human being, what can I say? So SU-100Y, I'm like, okay, you can shoot the KV1, he can at least do something useful with his life. Somehow he survives. I pop round, nail the SU-100. Excellent, think you, and excellent, think I. 2.5k damage, top gun on the KV2, that should do really nicely. No, drive into the corpse of the other KV2. Take a look at this KV2, I figure he's tunnelling the other KV2 and has fired. Noob! Yeah. So like I said, topic of the video, Master is that get away. Well, there's one. The amount of games where I've done that and I've just thought, oh, you noob. And I think it's psychological. I think it's because you push too hard because you're chasing the ace and you got it in the back of your head that this is going to be the game, and then it just isn't because you do something dumb like that. There you have it. Chasing aces. Bit of disappointment and failure for you. A loss with an ace and an ace game that should have been. Hope you enjoyed. See ya. Bye.